India's higher education system, particularly in fields like medicine, is fiercely competitive. Students often spend years preparing for entrance exams, dedicating countless hours to their studies. To ensure representation for students from within the state, Telangana, like several other states, implements a local quota system for admissions into MBBS and BDS programs. This system aims to balance the scales and provide fair opportunities for local students. This system reserves a certain percentage of seats in government medical colleges for students who have completed their schooling within the state. It is designed to prioritize those who have been part of the state's educational ecosystem. The intention is noble: to provide opportunities for local talent and address potential disparities in access to quality education. By doing so, it hopes to nurture and retain talent within the state, fostering a sense of community and growth. However, this system has become entangled in a complex debate, raising questions about fairness, equity, and the very definition of a local student. Critics argue that it may inadvertently disadvantage students who have had to move for various reasons. The crux of the issue lies in the eligibility criteria and how they impact students who pursue coaching for competitive exams outside of their home state. These students often find themselves in a grey area, caught between different regulations and expectations. Every year, thousands of students across India migrate to different states, seeking specialized coaching for highly competitive exams, like the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, or NEET, for medical admissions. These exams are seen as gateways to prestigious careers, and the pressure to succeed is immense. These students often spend years away from home, dedicating themselves to rigorous preparation. They endure long hours of study, often sacrificing sleep and leisure to stay ahead in the competitive race. While this migration is driven by the desire for the best possible coaching, it inadvertently creates a hurdle for students from states like Telangana when it comes to local quota benefits. The journey, filled with hope and ambition, often leads to unforeseen challenges. Telangana's local quota policy mandates that students must have completed both their Class 10 and Class 12 education within the state to be eligible. This policy aims to prioritize local students for state educational resources. This means that students who moved out of Telangana for coaching, even if originally domiciled there, find themselves excluded from the local quota upon their return. The years of hard work and sacrifice seem to be in vain when they face this exclusion. This exclusion, critics argue, puts these students at a significant disadvantage, as they are then forced to compete for the significantly fewer seats in the open category. The open category is fiercely competitive, making it even harder for these students to secure a place in their desired institutions. The coaching conundrum thus continues to be a complex issue, affecting the futures of many young aspirants. The controversy surrounding Telangana's local quota policy reached a turning point when a group of students who had been denied the local quota benefit due to their out-of-state coaching approached the Supreme Court. They argued that the policy was discriminatory and violated their fundamental right to equality. The Supreme Court, recognizing the gravity of the issue, admitted the petition and issued notices to the Telangana government, seeking their response. The court's intervention brought the issue into the national spotlight, igniting a debate about the fairness and implications of such restrictive, domicile-based quotas in education. The case has far-reaching consequences, not just for Telangana, but for several other states with similar policies. Section 4. Voices of Concern. Students and parents speak out. In this segment, we delve into the heartfelt grievances and passionate pleas of those most affected by the recent policy changes. Students who have been directly impacted by this policy express deep frustration and a sense of injustice. They feel their hard work and dedication are being overlooked. They argue that they should not be penalized for seeking the best possible preparation for their future. These students have invested countless hours in their studies, aiming to secure a brighter future. Many of them moved out of state for coaching due to a lack of comparable facilities in Telangana. This decision was not made lightly. It involved significant sacrifices and adjustments. To deny them the local quota benefit, they argue, is to undermine their efforts and limit their opportunities. Parents echo these concerns, standing firmly by their children's side. They point out the significant financial and emotional investments they made in supporting their children's education outside the state. These investments were made with the hope of securing a better future for their children. To have their children denied the local quota benefit after such sacrifices feels like a betrayal of their commitment to their children's futures. The sense of betrayal is palpable among the parents. They argue that the policy unfairly punishes students for pursuing excellence and limits their options for higher education. The community calls for a re-evaluation of the policy to ensure fairness and justice for all students. Section 5. Telangana's defense. Safeguarding state interests. The Telangana government, however, defends its policy, arguing that it is crucial for protecting the interests of students who have consistently studied within the state. They argue that the local quota is intended to benefit students who have been a part of the state's education system and who are more likely to settle and contribute to the state's development in the long run. The government also highlights the limited number of seats available in government medical colleges and the need to prioritize students from within the state. They argue that relaxing the domicile criteria would further intensify competition for these limited seats, potentially disadvantaging students who have consistently studied within Telangana. Section 6. Implications for educational equality. The Telangana local quota case raises broader questions about fairness and equality in access to education. While the intention behind such policies, to ensure representation for local students, is understandable, the implementation and its unintended consequences warrant careful consideration. Critics argue that such restrictive domicile-based quotas can create a climate of educational protectionism, hindering national integration and academic exchange. Furthermore, they argue that it is essential to recognize and address the disparities in educational resources and opportunities that exist across states. Policies should focus on improving educational infrastructure and providing quality coaching facilities within the state, rather than penalizing students who seek better opportunities elsewhere.